The National Electrical Code, or NEC, is a comprehensive document that provides guidelines for electrical installations to ensure safety and standardization. However, there are instances where the NEC may not explicitly cover every specific type of installation size or detail. This absence of specific guidance doesn't necessarily mean the installation is prohibited, but it requires a deeper understanding of the code's intent and the application of general rules. When the NEC doesn't provide explicit instructions for a particular installation scenario, several principles should be considered. Firstly, the overall objective of the NEC is the practical safeguarding of persons and property from hazards arising from the use of electricity. This principle should always guide decision-making. Secondly, review related sections of the NEC that address similar installations or components. These sections may offer insights or applicable requirements. Thirdly, consult with qualified electrical engineers, inspectors, or other experts who have experience with similar installations. Their expertise can provide valuable guidance and ensure compliance with accepted industry practices. Fourthly, consider the listing and labeling requirements for equipment and materials used in the installation. Listed products have been evaluated for safety and suitability for their intended purpose. Fifthly, ensure that the installation meets all applicable local codes and regulations which may have additional requirements beyond the NEC. When specific guidance is lacking, it's essential to document the installation thoroughly, including design calculations, equipment specifications, and justifications for any deviations from standard practices. This documentation can be helpful for future reference and for demonstrating compliance to inspectors or other stakeholders. It's also important to stay updated with the latest editions of the NEC, as new requirements or clarifications may be added over time. The NEC is typically revised every 3 years to reflect changes in technology and industry best practices. While the NEC strives to be comprehensive, it's impossible to cover every conceivable installation scenario. In cases where specific guidance is absent, a combination of sound engineering judgment, expert consultation, and adherence to the code's overall intent is necessary to ensure a safe and compliant electrical installation. Understanding the limitations of the NEC is just as important as knowing its specific requirements. Recognizing when the code doesn't provide explicit guidance allows for a more thoughtful and responsible approach to electrical work. It emphasizes the importance of continuous learning, collaboration, and a commitment to safety above all else. Let's consider some examples where the NEC might not provide explicit instructions. Imagine a unique type of industrial machinery requiring a specialized power supply configuration. The NEC might not detail the exact wiring methods for the specific machine, but it would provide general requirements for wiring, overcurrent protection, grounding, and bonding that would still apply. Another scenario could involve a custom-built lighting system for a commercial space. The NEC would offer guidelines on lighting circuits, fixture installations, and control systems, but it might not specify the exact design of a one-of-a-kind lighting fixture. In these situations, the electrical designer or installer must use their expertise to adapt the general requirements of the NEC to the specific application. This requires a thorough understanding of electrical principles, safety standards, and accepted industry practices. It's also important to consider the potential hazards associated with the installation and to implement appropriate safeguards. For example, if the industrial machinery operates at a high voltage, additional insulation, barriers, or interlocks may be necessary to prevent accidental contact. Similarly, if the custom lighting fixture generates a significant amount of heat, proper ventilation and thermal protection may be required. Collaboration with equipment manufacturers and other experts is crucial in these situations. Manufacturers can provide detailed specifications and recommendations for their products, while experts can offer guidance on best practices and potential hazards. It's also important to document all design decisions and safety measures to ensure that the installation can be safely maintained and operated in the future. In some cases, it may be necessary to obtain a special permit or variance from the local electrical inspector to deviate from the standard requirements of the NEC. This typically requires submitting detailed plans and justifications for the proposed installation. The inspector will review the plans to ensure that the installation meets the intent of the code and that it provides an equivalent level of safety. Remember that the NEC is not a substitute for sound engineering judgment. It's a set of guidelines that should be applied in conjunction with a thorough understanding of electrical principles and safety standards. When faced with an installation scenario that is not explicitly covered by the NEC, don't hesitate to seek expert advice and to document all design decisions. By following these principles, you can ensure that your electrical installations are safe, compliant, and reliable, even in the absence of specific code requirements. The NEC is a living document that is constantly evolving to address new technologies and challenges. Staying up to date with the latest edition of the code and participating in industry training programs are essential for all electrical professionals. This ongoing commitment to learning and improvement will help to ensure that electrical installations are safe and reliable for years to come. In conclusion, while the NEC is a comprehensive resource, it may not always provide explicit guidance for every installation scenario. In these cases, a combination of sound engineering judgment, expert consultation, and adherence to the code's overall intent is necessary to ensure safe and compliant electrical installation.